Yep. What's going on YouTube? My name is ADCArtAttack, his name is Bob, his name is Larry, and her name is Sally, and welcome back to a brand new drawing video. Today's video is going to be a super negative one. That was bad. That was bad. I absolutely love this mode. I think it's really cool. Everything looks better in this mode. I wish we could walk around like this everywhere. I'm so mature, it's unbelievable. Stop! God, if my wife walks in on me now. Seriously, we've done a few episodes in this series and I really like the way this style looks. I think even without applying the filter to it, just the negative drawings themselves look cool. They have a different look to them and they sort of... Well, we'll go into this during the video. So for now, really not much more to say except for what am I doing today? Who am I doing today? Problem is, thumbnail, title, kind of spoiled the video. So, nothing to say except enjoy. Wait. I have something to say. Good. How do we color negative? In each of these videos, I have done my best to explain exactly how to color in negative. Today, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to try and do it while we do the drawing, not to bore you too much. So, with that being said, let's get on with the drawing and just keep an eye out for how to do this and stuff. Alrighty everyone, welcome to the drawing part of this drawing video. Now before we actually get on with doing the negative piece of artwork, we actually need something on the paper to work with. So what are we doing today? Well, today I figured we would choose one of my favorite forms of any character across all forms of media, Goku Super Saiyan 3. Now for today's video, you're probably wondering why am I drawing on white paper if I'm going to invert the colors, isn't it gonna go black? Well, today's one I'm gonna be doing something a little bit special and this comes in response to many of the comments on my previous videos of this series. By the way, this is a series, so you can just like click on the series and enjoy the previous installments and do that stuff in your own time. But today I'll be using markers. Now I'll be honest with you, when I started this one, I didn't think that markers would be possible for this style. I just didn't really see a way of me doing it. But man oh man did they work by the end. I should say, while we are drawing this piece, I'm actually not going to be inking it, and the reason being is, if I were to ink this with black pens, well, those black lines would become white when we invert it. So we're going to stick with pencil lines, and then we're going to erase them. And now it's time to start coloring. But before we get on to coloring, how do we pick the right colors? The first is the most obvious. Take an image of the character you're drawing. If you have a reference, that's great. Add him to Photoshop, click on Image, Adjustments, and Invert. Real quick and easy, and now you know the colors. But computer screens aren't perfect, and the colors may not match your eye or what your camera picks up. So using this as a guide, let's grab the pens we think we need, make a few scribbles, and ensure that you get full coverage because any light or darker areas will drastically alter the colors when you apply the filter. Take a photo of your scribbles, and then select your color. This is a really precise way of doing it and will ensure that you pick the correct colors. Now when you do start doing a negative style drawing, it is extremely difficult, even if you are using a reference, because your brain is constantly fighting you the entire way. When you start doing this, you're not familiar with it. It's not something you've ever done before, so your brain is constantly telling you, hey dude, those light areas are supposed to be dark, and those dark areas are supposed to be light. You know this, but you're going the opposite ways to your artistic instincts. And this is totally normal, totally natural, but it does require you to have a little bit more focus when doing this kind of task as opposed to what I would normally do, just throw on some heavy music and just color to my own leisure. This one requires a little bit more downtime, chilled out music, and just pure focus. It is, in my opinion, a great test of your mental ability to focus on a piece of artwork. Me, I'm not such a mentally focused human being, so this took me a lot longer than I would have liked it to, but I would really recommend this kind of thing to anyone looking for a real challenge out there. Remember what I said before, you're going to want to ensure that you get a full coverage when you're applying your layers onto this piece. So in order to do that, what you're going to need is a lot of focus and a lot of time. You want to break off your areas into small areas, ensuring that you don't have too much patchiness, and you also want to double layer, even triple layer if need be. You want as much of that pigment to show through as possible with as little of that white paper showing through, because obviously the lighter the color, the darker it will appear. Also, please allow drying time. It is super important when you're doing a piece like this that you get those crisp, clean edges. You don't want blending. You want the colors to be the colors that you have selected. So I'm allowing adequate time for each of the layers to dry before I apply anything on top of them, allowing them to stop bleeding out and just to make sure that we get those nice crisp separations. And going back to that whole sort of mind confusion thing, doing this sort of, well, if we apply the filter, you can see it's the blue area. This bit is a nightmare because the shadows are extremely bright, but my brain is telling me this is not normal. I know that this area is blue on Goku. Why am I coloring it so light? And I'm trying to fight with my brain here, stop myself from doing it so light. And it really, this was not an enjoyable thing to do at this point. As you come to this orange area, this is where it becomes a little bit easier, I felt. At this point, I'm starting to realize that I'm getting a bit more comfortable with this sort of style. I feel a little bit more at ease here in which areas should be light, which ones should be dark. My brain is sort of working with me here and we're sort of on even terms, so I feel good. I'm speaking as if my brain is a separate part of my body, but you know what I mean. You will get to these large areas as well, such as on his clothing here, where it becomes very difficult not to be patchy. Now, the only suggestion I can give you is, one, you need to work fast, but you need to have full control over how much of that ink flow you're getting from those pens. So I would suggest looking for sneaky ways that you can separate areas, whether it be from shadow areas or whatever, but you want to make those areas as small as possible so you can get that coverage that you need. Also be aware of where you're going to be layering on top of it later anyway. So if you're doing your base layer and you're a bit concerned about patchiness or whatever, then just put that patchiness or try to focus on stopping in those areas that you're going to go over anyway. Don't worry too much about it, it'll be okay. And to be honest, by the end of it, you'll actually notice that some of the patchiness really does work into your favor. So don't worry too much, don't fret as you're doing it, still try to enjoy it, even though it's a little bit demanding on the whole focus thing. Before we go on to the hair, I'm actually at this point really liking the way this looks. I think the clothing looks absolutely fantastic as it is without applying the inverted filter, which is something I'm trying to resist the urge to do because I want to be surprised by the end of this piece. I don't want to know what is going on here. So I'm trying to hold off, but I am so tempted to actually outline it right now, and I know I shouldn't. So I'm going to wait and we're going to outline it after we've done the hair. As I'm progressing through this hair, I'm starting to realize it looks so cool. Like, it looks so cool. Maybe it's because blue is like my favorite color, but this is just, I'm really enjoying this. I absolutely love the way it looks so far. Wow, I'm so excited. Can we just hurry up and finish this? Let's just hurry up and finish it. Ah, damn it, we're not done yet. I gotta ink. All right. Let's ink. So, to ink, you need to use a white fine liner. If you're doing it on black paper, then you probably aren't using markers because that isn't gonna work, but you'd be using a black fine liner. But today we're using white, and unfortunately, white gel pens just aren't suited to professional style inking. So, this was difficult. They are sort of like, I don't know if you guys have ever used traditional ink before, but if you double layer over them, you start to scratch away that layer of ink. So it was a little bit difficult, and I'm not too sure if these lines are going to appear as dark as they should in all areas, but I guess we'll find out. Some of these areas are actually really difficult to ink, in particular the very, very light blue areas separated by that sort of bright, I don't know what it's supposed to be, that vanilla color. It's a really difficult area for me to see what I'm doing with this white ink, so I don't even know if the camera's going to pick it up. I guess we'll find out in a moment. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have the finished Goku Super Saiyan 3, and it looks super cool. I really do like the way this looks just as it is right now without applying any filter to it. I love the negative view. I think it really works well. I love the colors. I think if we could swap the colors out for the skin tone and just have his clothing and his hair this color, it would be an absolutely amazing character. But let's actually flip on that negative inverted mode and see what we've got. Wow. This looks so vibrant. It pops. This looks way better than anything I thought it would. Holy cow. Even the paper looks fantastic. I mean, it looks so dark. And that's one of the big struggles when you're doing these negative drawings is trying to find a black paper that will turn completely white. But using white paper, this looks so cool, guys. What do you think? Do you like this? This is just a great way of testing yourself, and I really did enjoy it. I hope you did too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. I really love doing these negative drawings. They're one of my favorite styles to do. I really think they look cool even before you apply the filter to them. I really like the negative kind of look. I think it looks great. It's very fun to do, and I do hope you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully, you learned something. Hopefully, I could help you out a little bit if you wanted to try this challenge. And if you do try this challenge yourself, be sure to tag me in the results at ADCArtAttack on both Instagram and Twitter. I look forward to seeing them. Well, until next time, from myself, from Bob and the Ducklings, we'll see you. No, that's wrong. How am I gonna end these videos? I gotta come up with an outro. Should we just? Done.